y'all. I'm Coach B.
And I'm Nisha
Hot
T.
toddy, we likes to party. Everybody grab somebody. You feel it, sometimes we steal it. Drama, let's kill it. Come and get your healing. Hot toddy, hot toddy time. Hot toddy, hot toddy time.
We're looking for women like you to partner with us as we take it to the next level.
Hey y'all, it's Coach B.
And I'm Nisha T.
And it's Hot Toddy Time with GIRE. Y'all, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. We are so excited. We have a special guest on the show, and I am definitely going to allow Tanisha to do the welcome for this one for sure, because they have history, they work together. It's a whole bunch of I wouldn't even know Tanisha, it wouldn't even be a girlfriends in real estate, okay?
If it were not.
Exactly. So y'all,
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. I'm going to let her do the honors, but we want to put out a disclaimer real quick because we was talking about this morning, so it's kind of random. But we are looking for women like you to partner with, okay? But we have gotten such a major response from the men in our community as well, and we're reaching out to our ladies, and so we're asking them to come on deck. But see, behind every strong man, right, it's a real strong woman. So shout out to his wife who is getting ready to bring life into this world again. So that's exciting. And so, girl, we gonna highlight you, and he better make you look good.
Okay, amen.
All right.
And to add on to what she's saying, just a quick introduction of this young man. He is a author. He is a real estate entrepreneur. He is strong within the community. Ladies, if you have a young man that needs some directing or some guidance, this is your guy right here. I'm gonna let the interview do the talking for itself, but I want to introduce my friend, my bro, my fighting partner, Tim Jackson.
What's up? So glad to be here. I'm so glad to be here.
Can I call you TJ?
You call me TJ. You call me Tim. Just don't call me Collect.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm messing with you.
I might call you.
It's me.
Too.
It's who I am. So we finna have fun. All right.
All right. Let's go. Well, we the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's do this.
So what's up? What y'all got for me today?
So first of all, we just want you to do just a quick introduction of yourself.
Absolutely. So
and then we gonna go for the deep introduction.
Where do I start? My name is Tim Jackson, Mr. Purpose on Demand, Mr. Retired at 37, Mr. Real Estate Broker. Listen, I'm here, born and raised in Dallas, Texas, Pleasant Grove to be exact, the best part of Dallas. So anybody who know anything about Dallas, y'all know that the Grove is running the city right now.
That is not the truth.
But yes, I'm a real estate broker. I'm an author. I operate a nonprofit organization called Real Youth Mentoring. We teach boys entrepreneurship, leadership. We teach them how to be leaders within their community. All of our boys graduate the program with a 700 plus credit score and a business plan. Soon to be father again. My wife is pregnant with our first child together, so she's excited. I'm excited, hoping for a girl, you know what I'm saying? Because those boys, they'll throw you in a nursing home, you know what I'm saying? So I want the girl to let me live in the basement, in the man cave, you know what I'm saying? She can take that up with her husband, but I can't be in no nursing home, right?
Come on now.
Y'all take care of y'all daddies, right?
Yeah,
what y'all do? Yeah.
Yes,
see,
I do.
See what I'm saying? See, my son, he's gonna throw me straight to Shady Grove. So, but you know
a place for dad.
A place for dad. Look at me, right? And so, been in real estate 18 years. I've guided a lot of people through the process of getting their real estate license. I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of great agents, Tanisha being one. I was the first broker that she worked with. So, and just met you through what? I think I met you through community outreach, right?
So what happened is, one of my close friends referred his book to me. She found out I was trying to get into real estate. She told me, hey, read this book. I know the author. We used to work together. This may help you. So long story short, I read the book. He responded on one of my cousins' posts. And when I saw him post, they were talking about the book. And I said, hey, I read the book. You him. Him is you.
Him is you.
So we kind of connected on that level. And we
Linked up through
we linked-
your coworker, who's one of my mentors.
Right.
Yeah,
You were having a event at Thurgood Marshall.
Yep,
And so
yep.
we stopped by,
Y'all pulled up.
introduced myself, and that's how we bonded.
Yep. Actually, if you remember, the very first time we met, y'all pulled up to the expunction fair. Remember at the church.
That's what it was.
So Dallas County had its
That's
first
what it
annual
was.
expungement. I always say expungement, expunction. I always get them mixed up.
Yeah.
Where they get that stuff off your background,
yeah,
right?
off your background.
And my company was the only company in Dallas to actually pay to have people's records cleaned.
Wow.
And so I was meeting with the then councilwoman, and I believe the county clerk was there, and y'all pulled
And
up.
one of the- yeah.
And I had one of my boys with me, and I gave you another book. We took a picture, and we've been rocking since then. We've been rocking
We've
since
been
then, my dog.
rocking. Yeah.
Wow.
He-
So good people will always connect with each other. Like you put out that good energy, you're gonna always get good people that are gonna respond to you. You're gonna get some scammers, some people that's gonna be trying to get over on you, but they easy to weed out.
Some city people.
Some city folks, right?
That's it.
Hey man, nephew, can I get a burger? Look boy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Well, I love it. We like the way you scrape the surface, okay?
That's how I do it, man.
All right. But obviously, this is all about healing for your soul and taking it to the next level.
Absolutely.
So I don't know, but I feel like these past shows have been really divine.
They have been.
And we need to start with what we call the head of our households, the leaders in our community, right? How can women begin to heal if the men that we support and we back have not experienced that kind of healing?
Run that back.
And they lead us,
You
right?
peeling back some layers that a lot of people don't like to touch on right now.
I
because,
know. That's the crazy.
you know, if you don't mind me interjecting on that, so
Yeah.
with our mentoring program, I deal specifically with black boys between the age of 10 and 18.
Uh-huh.
And I recently said that there's no black boy magic out there. Like there's
Right.
no programs or no initiatives or no sayings or nothing for
Right.
our boys. You know,
Yeah.
we black mothers tend to raise their daughters and they coddle their sons.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
No.
you want me to
This
read
is
say it one more
wait,
time?
no. Hold on. We got to get
'Cause
this
that's
in
the truth.
here. This is what we want you to dive deeper into.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we gonna ask you to spill the tea with a shot of whiskey.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah, I mean,
going.
so
Yes. So
you know,
dive
think
deep.
about it. Look, if you're a woman watching this and you have brothers, think about how hard your mother was on you and how soft they were probably on your brothers. Because a lot of times, you know, mothers feel like they have to protect their sons for some strange reason. And,
Yep.
and let's just say the father isn't in the picture for whatever reason. We're not here to bash fathers. We're not here to bash mothers. But for whatever
Right.
reason, he's not there. Maybe he lives out of town. Maybe they have a strained relationship. For whatever reason,
Yeah.
mothers are very hard on the girls because they see the girls in their own image.
Yeah.
You know, if
Right.
I have to go to work and do all this, then you better learn how to. But with the boys, it's like, oh, just go play the game.
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
You want
And then-
something to eat?
You want something to eat. And then they send him out there into the world depending on women.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And so now you have this whole generation of boys
Yeah.
out there who depend on women, that need women to take care of them, that need women to validate them, and then they become a regurgitation of exactly what women don't need in men.
Exactly.
And I don't have a problem with saying that out loud because it's a two-way street. We all have to play that role of acknowledging where we are part of that problem, right?
Exactly.
And so for me, fortunately for me, you know, my parents separated or divorced very early. My mom remarried. I had a stepfather. I had uncles. I had a lot of good men in my life.
Amen.
But a lot of the boys that come to our program, they don't have any men in their life.
Yeah.
So all they really see is mama being everything. And when they get older, that's what they expect from a woman.
Yeah.
And that's the cycle that we're trying to break, okay? We're trying to raise men that are going to be able to protect and provide for their family.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but society teaches us that there's something wrong with that. Now, I don't know why, but they do.
Yeah.
We going back to putting that man back in the household,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And that means we gotta be just as strong on our boys as we are on our girls, if
Absolutely.
not stronger. And I noticed that trend, you know, being that I've been married to my husband for 14 years, I noticed that trend with him too, though, on the opposite side. Because there's a lot of times that I have to say to him, you know, okay, Josiah, who's my daughter, did the same thing as Josiah, who's my son. And your response to her was totally different than your response to him. Your response to him was real hard.
Because we're
And
taught
your
to be
response
gentle
her-
with girls.
With girls.
And here's
Yeah.
the thing. you know, me and my wife talk about this all the time, you know, because I want a girl. So she said, you have a girl, you know, my dad was like this with me. Her dad, she was a daddy's girl. But her dad held her very accountable. Right? And so I have to find that balance. My son, I'm really tough on my son. But on the flip side of that, I love my son. My son, you know, you've been around William. You know what I'm saying? I can get on William for something that he doing, and I mean, I can just get through chastising. And where's William? He right there for me.
Because kids love that chastisement.
And then I grab on him, I kiss him on his head. I say, hey man, you know, you learned your lesson. Let's go. Let's forget about it. I teach him to have a short memory when it comes to mistakes, because we all make mistakes. But a lot of boys aren't taught rejection.
Hello, somebody.
They're not taught rejection, so then they go out there and they hypermasculate situations, and they act like they have to be men, you know, if you will. We teach our boys rejection, and we teach our boys how to handle those rejections and to respond to them, and to understand that rejection is not the end of the world. And you know, you see a lot of these shootings that took place. There were so many shootings this weekend. Teenagers, right? You know, I got tagged in a bunch of posts because that's the kind of stuff we deal with, and it's like a lot of these boys, if they understood conflict resolution, which is the second thing that we teach, and rejection combined, then a lot of the stuff that they run into won't be something that they have to necessarily deal with, or they'll know how to deal with it. So that's important, and it's on us as men to stand up and stop bigging up or stop making some of these hood dudes, these street dudes, like our heroes. They're not our heroes.
Not the heroes.
They not our. I don't have no OGs. You know what I'm saying? The cats that I used to run with, I invite them to the mentoring program. They don't show up, so. You know, that's what I say. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no hard feelings. If that's how you feel about the streets, and that's how I feel about you. If you really not trying to save our boys. Because I saw some people posting like, man, my son saw some people get shot right in front of him. It's like, we was doing, you know, we were seeing that when we were his age. So when does that cycle break?
Exactly.
So now we got to start taking control of our own situations.
And I think people get that mixed up. They think because they went through it and it quote unquote made them strong, that the next generation could do that and it's going to make them strong. But are you really strong if you're still in the streets? It scars you.
It scars you.
You know?
I as a man should never have to sit down and have a conversation with my son about how he should feel and how he should respond after seeing one of his friends being shot. A teenager should never have to go through that. So we put our boys in situations to where they choose their friends wisely. When I came back from the military, I had a homeboy of mine that was still in them streets. He was deep in them, and we went out to the club with the Club Blue. You remember Club Blue, right? And
we got a Blue in Houston. They probably wouldn't y'all type of stuff.
Man, and so we went to Club Blue. We driving around. There was this car following us around. I'm like, man, do you know who this person is? And then we get to a stoplight. Some friends of ours come out of the club. Well, evidently, our friends in the car, they had just gotten into a fight. And these guys in the car pull out a gun and just start shooting.
While you were in the car.
And they blocked my car in, started shooting at the people walking into our car. Then he turned around and pointed at us, and his gun jammed up. And I told my friend that night, I said, bro, I love you to death, but I didn't come back home to get killed. I didn't come back home from the military during a wartime to be killed in the streets of Dallas by people that look like me. I said, I'm good on it, bro. And we didn't kick it no more. It just was what it was, because if he wasn't trying to elevate, then there's no reason for us to be real. We have to teach our boys the importance of having those strong relationships.
Major key.
One thing I do want to just go back and touch on what he said about his son is that he reprimands him, but then he brings him back in. And a lot of times we'll reprimand our children, and then we don't talk to them. So now that's teaching children grudging. So one thing I can say I do love about the fact that you let him know you done something wrong, but I still love you. Come on up in here and get these hugs, get these kisses. And I also want to put myself on blast. I sincerely said that this morning in prayer. I thought about how I don't necessarily pray hard for my daughter, because in my mind, she's got everything together. She's responsible. But my son, I have done so much. When he's gotten in trouble, who's there to get him out of trouble? Me. I won't let him sit and take any situations, by himself. I'm right there holding him on, and I had to tell myself, part of the problem was me.
You gotta let him fail.
I do.
My mom did that to me. I was calling myself trying to, be bad, if you will, and I got into a little situation. She said, "You on your own," and I had to figure it out. And it was in that moment that I realized all those prayers, all those whoopings, all those punishments, it didn't really mean anything because I wasn't receiving it. But in that moment where she told me she was good on me, that was the worst thing that could ever happened. That was the worst hurt that I ever felt in my life.
Yeah.
Seeing my mom cry and tell me I'm dead. Like,
Yeah.
whatever you want to do, you do it. I don't have nothing else to do with you, blah, blah, blah. Like, that was the turning point
How
in my
old
life.
were you at
I was 17. I was 17 years old. And seeing my mom, you know, feel that way. And from that moment on, I was a straight A student. I went off to the military after that, and the rest was history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think people fail to realize that men and women process the same emotions, and they go through the same thing. And you know, I just had this revelation as we was talking, and I thought about it. Maybe the system is that way in so many single mother households because that other component, right, that's supposed to be there to balance it out is missing. So, like I was talking about in our house, I can be hard on my daughter, and then I could love on my son. But then my husband can be hard on my son, and then love on my daughter. But there's a balance there. At the same time, we have our moments. My daughter stays underneath me. My son stays wanting to do whatever daddy's doing and going wherever daddy goes. Now you take that important piece out of the household, that father figure, and then you have this single mother that's doing exactly what she's supposed to do. She's a nurturer, she's a lover, we go back to spiritual time, she's a Titus 2 and 3 woman. She's trying to teach her daughter how to be responsible, how to love, how to build a household, how to nurture her husband, or whatever the case may be. And y'all can correct me, but I'm gonna say this unapologetically. I think a lot of times because of the lack of fatherhood in our household and the demand that's placed on the mother, we're asking the mother to step out of her nature and to start being tougher on her son because that component is missing. So if nobody else is gonna do it, you gotta do it. You calling your son and you're going hard on your daughter, but she's going hard on her daughter because I don't know how to be a man. I know how to be a woman.
And that's it.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
And one thing that I try my best not to do is I try not to generalize too much.
Right, right.
Because, you know, we're not all placed in one category.
That's true.
I'll play devil's advocate on that.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Both y'all. Go ahead. He dressed in red for today.
Yeah. You see the horns, right? There's a certain percentage of women who feel like I can do it by myself. I don't need no man.
Well, you don't have to play devil's advocate
And that's
on that
and
one.
that's
I know
quoted
it.
to women, like especially black. You don't hear this with any other race of women, specifically with black women.
Yeah.
I don't need no man. I'm strong. I can handle myself. I'm
Come on. The only word that most people know how to spell these
You ain't
days.
never seen no women who are not black. You hear me that out loud?
Yeah.
So when you create this whole independence of a woman without needing this man, there's a lot of times in situations where women shut off the men. And I'm actually putting together a course right now to help men navigate like child support board, custody and stuff like that, because
that's good.
there's a lot of women who just say, man, I don't need you, forget you, you ain't nothing, the relationship didn't work out, and there's some hard feelings about that. Maybe he done moved on. I know so many guys who got put on child support after they moved on and got somebody else.
But went on it the whole time.
Went on the whole time, and that's, you know, sometimes the children become a tactic. Not all women, y'all better not be inboxing me, because I'm petty, I'm a Cancer. I got all
I'm sitting right here, and he ain't talking about me.
Yeah.
I'm a
Cancer
single
too.
mother.
I'm petty,
And
you
I
know, so
ain't petty.
I got, yes,
Tell
you
him
are.
don't be
It's in our G's. It's
If
in
he
our
ain't
blood.
talking about you, then don't even worry about it.
Hey, listen, man. Eat the meat, throw away the bones. What they say, if it don't apply, let it fly.
Let it
right?
fly.
That part.
And it's okay for somebody to bowl down your alley and say some stuff that might hit you a little bit. Because I get
It's tight, but it's right.
You done
Yeah.
corrected me on some stuff, and I'm like, you
It
right.
will.
But I'm saying we got to consider all those. But the main thing is putting men around, boys around good men. Get them in a good mentoring program. Trust and understand that there's just certain things you can't teach a boy. He needs to learn certain things. Me and my son's going through puberty right now.
Yeah.
And we had that conversation.
Yeah.
And, you know, I said, son, ask me anything you want to ask me. He was like, you sure? I said, I'm positive. And when we started diving through some of those questions, he was just amazed that I had the answer. And that I understood exactly what he was going through. His mom couldn't have had that conversation with him at all.
Yeah.
Right?
No, because I know my son is 14.
Yeah.
And we passed puberty at 10.
Yeah.
And now we in
Y'all
the
can never
stages-
find the lotion.
Yeah,
No, I'm joking.
exactly. It's right at the edge
No,
of
but
his
I think
bed. I don't
me and
even
you
think
had
about it.
I think I was still at your brokerage, and me and you had a conversation about my youngest son,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
were like, well, he probably don't tell me.
I
Don't
ain't put him out
tell
there,
me
you know what I'm
that.
saying?
I was like, I don't even want to
lotion
open it.
bottle.
I don't even want to open the door. Okay, I'm like, I don't care what you're doing. And so
musty in the room.
exactly, just smell like some sticky socks. I'm just tired. Okay, but you know. Man, this is like really kind of shifting the trajectory just a little bit. We are going to dive into the questions. But, you know, I just think about that when it comes to, you know, the things that I process when I'm getting ready to teach my son. And my husband and I, we had gone through some things in the beginning, you know, left Houston, moved to Dallas.
Good for y'all.
My husband and I were separated at the time.
No, I was just talking about the Houston to Dallas.
I know. And so we were separated at the time. And, you know, I just remember being here and my husband in Houston and saying to my husband, you're not here. So I have to figure out something to do with Josiah while we're here. And I'm not just going to leave it to chance. So I said, I can teach him how to love. I can't teach him how to be a man. So I'm going to put him in some mentoring programs. And I met Mr. Williams, you know, who was at Lake Ridge at the time. And he was starting what was called the Rejection project, which was a development for boys and young boys and things like that. And I let him mentor him. You know, he got him into programs, you know, got him into sports, you know, did those things. And, you know, it was a challenge for my husband. Because my husband then felt like, you know, I can't let another man mentor my son.
Exactly.
You know, and then he came. But I don't think that a lot of women afford men that type of sight or that type of insight to be able to say, listen, okay, if you're going to be out here, if you're going to run the streets, if you're going to do whatever you're going to do, I'm going to make sure that my son gets the mentorship that he needs.
If not for pride, I tell people that all the time. You know, when you start bringing, if your son's father's a real man and he understands the importance of being there, when he sees us working with him, you know what he's going to do? He's going to start showing up.
Oh, yeah.
We have so many guys who come with their sons.
Yeah.
Right? Because they understand, hey, you don't need to be teaching my son this by yourself. And we invite them. We want dad there.
Yeah.
Because we know that once dad gets there, now that son can get a different flavor. There's certain things that I just can't teach Will.
Yeah.
I just can't. He's not going to listen to me.
Yeah.
But Mr. Allen may be able to.
Right.
Mr. Lewis may be able to. They might be his cup of tea. They
Humble
might understand
yourself.
him, right?
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly fine with that, right?
Yeah.
But that's real that you saw the importance of having him around men and a lot of women, you know, because they've been possibly maybe hurt by a man or they feel some kind of way that they don't want their children to feel that hurt.
Yeah.
But you gotta let them kids
They gotta grow.
They gotta grow up because what's gonna happen is the streets gonna teach them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Somebody else gonna teach them. And you know, a lot of times the hardest thing that we have with our boys is getting them to trust us because they haven't been around a man. And it's like, listen, all of us are background check, we got bonds, like we're not gonna hurt you. Okay?
Yeah.
But once we get them to open up, when we took them to on that trip, some of those boys had never even left Dallas before.
Yeah.
Never left Dallas. And a lot of boys don't leave their neighborhood until they go to court or they go to prison.
Yeah.
So it's important to get them around other men that's doing something. They don't have to be basketball players or people that have notoriety. You have people within your community that's doing some amazing things, and that one person can get your son to the next level.
Wow.
I know we're getting off, but
No,
that's my
that's
that's
okay.
my purpose.
That's okay. So
We're gonna lead that right
lead
on.
to the next question.
So what you got?
What was the most painful challenge that you've encountered?
Realizing that you can't save everybody.
Wow.
You know, I think that one of the reasons I was able to retire at the age of 37 is because I perfected the art and the act of leaving people behind. So many people will not jump off the porch and do what they want to do because they're consulting with people in their circle who've never done anything.
Right.
And those people are never going to encourage you to do anything because they've never done anything. And you all have to stop taking it so personal and making it so personal. And you just have to tell that person, hey, I love you. I appreciate everything you said. And thank you. And then you need to go and do the exact opposite. And once I realized that everyone's not going to support you, not because they hate on you, but because they just don't know. Then I start leaving people behind. And what I realize is that people start catching up to me. Because now they see me like, dang, Tim, like you really retired at 37. If I can show you out my inbox right now, I got so many people in my inbox like, man, you really did that. Like, I want to learn this now. And everybody's timing isn't your timing. You got that idea. That idea was placed in your head by God, your creator, whatever you believe, that was given to you. It wasn't given to them. So stop trying to take those ideas and instead of jumping out the porch, go and tell this person, hey, what you think about us doing this? That's just fear because you're afraid. You don't believe enough in yourself.
You ain't even sit up on here and gang up on me. You and God.
Yeah, you and God, right?
You and God ain't supposed to jump me.
I'm telling you, when I started believing in myself and believing in my efforts, and I started leaving people behind because that wasn't their purpose, that was my purpose, my entire life changed.
And see, she had to tell me that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get so much revelation, so many ideas, so many things, and immediately I always think about just bringing
Helping
everybody
else,
with.
lead them behind. That's my thing. Me and you, we were born 2 days apart. I don't know if that's a cancer thing or what.
Yeah.
Like we're visionaries. We did revolution. We have the idea for everyone's problem. The thing about it is that it's not our job to try to bring everyone along. You have to start setting an example, and then they'll come when they see you. People show up. And once it's built, they'll come.
Yeah.
But most people don't have the vision.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go to this coffee shop if it was under construction.
No, I don't have a reason to.
You don't have a reason to, but now you have a reason to be here because they have a service.
Yeah.
So you put your service out there, you put your purpose out there, and people will show up to your purpose. They're not going to help you build your purpose. They will show up to it, though.
We're going to have to ping that. People will
that's a bar.
show up to your purpose.
Yeah, you know, $, real Timjacksonnow. If you want to slide your boys, an offering.
All right.
No, that's the real thing. I have no issue with leaving people behind. One of my things that I live by is, I can complain 3 times. After the 3rd time, what are you going to do about it? So I realize I'm around a lot of people who want it, including my family, and I hope I don't offend anybody. We have a lot of ideas and things that we want to do, but we're scared. We're still waiting on the answer. We're still waiting on God to show us signs.
And He's waiting on y'all.
And He's waiting on us. And so
the sign is the idea.
The sign is the
all the time.
idea.
The sign is the idea. If it came into your head, that's the sign. Like, faith without works is dead. The sign is the idea. What more signs do you want?
need.
Like, the idea's in your head. And ideas ain't faithful and loyal. An idea will sit there for a little bit. And if you don't execute, it's going to jump over into that person's head. And what's going to happen is you're going to feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
Because they execute. They stole my stuff. No.
We just decided to step out.
Didn't move on.
Yeah, you didn't
You
know.
better not tell me no good idea. I'm going to give you about a year.
Yeah, to
after
act on it.
hey, what happened to such and such? Oh, okay. All right, she not for real.
And see, and that's why I'm not even afraid to tell certain people my ideas, because I know you're not going to do anything with it anyway.
That's
So
that's a bar.
You will say that you want to do stuff, but you're not going to show it in your actions.
Exactly.
So
that's a bar.
That's just.
So when people be telling you, I feel comfortable telling you this.
They know you ain't gonna do nothing.
Not to be,
I'm playing.
not to be offensive, but you have your doers and then you have your.
Stop you there.
Yeah. Be offensive.
Be offensive.
Like, forget their feelings, man.
Be
Like,
offensive.
that's what's wrong with us as a people. Like,
We don't want to offend.
we don't want
walking
to
on
offend, step on
eggshells.
nobody's toes,
Yeah.
but then we complain about stuff that's not happening. Like, step on people's toes.
Please.
I call out, you know me. I call out everybody, but I
Yeah.
call out not just my people. I call out anyone that I feel like is preventing me from achieving goals.
Yeah.
I was a zoning commissioner in Dallas. I just literally stepped down abruptly so I could focus on my purpose.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Oh my God, why are you leaving?" I don't want to do it anymore. I want to focus on saving black boys. You know what I'm saying? But during that time, I stepped on a lot of people's toes. I pissed off a lot of people downtown in Dallas. Do you think I care? No. Because one, I'm retired. I mean, you can't take my income away from me. But two, it needed to be said. And what I've learned is that when you step on somebody's toes, it might piss them off.
Yeah.
But that's gonna put a mirror in front of their face.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you put your son into that mentoring program, and his dad was like, no, that's my.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So start pissing people off, and then you weed out who don't need to be around you.
Man, hold on real quick, 37-year-old. Okay. So I have this thing where I said like 28 was great for me because I started to see myself. And then 33 was freedom because I started to, really break away from people's opinions. Okay, so this kind of leads us to our next question because you know, that's not something that comes easy. You got to go through a process to realize I got to step on your toes. I got to leave you behind. I can't hold on to you. And that normally comes because in the beginning, that's probably what you were doing. Like, I'm trying to pull you up, trying to help you out. I'm trying to give you an idea. I'm trying to show you what I got. Come support me, man. I'm telling you, this is going to be big. And a lot of people got left behind, but, you know, or maybe, like you said, a lot of people started showing up to your purpose. So talk about how you overcame those obstacles for somebody who is in there, you know, we gonna say born in July because we just like ourselves like that. But no, but not just July. But you know, for people who have these big giant hearts, big visions, you know, these big exploits, and they're always trying to bring somebody with them. What got you to the point to where you could say, you know what, F, I'm gonna leave you. You know, I'm just gonna go. And do what I need to do.
So two things, and I'll make it quick because I know we have a few lessons, topics to go through. Someone told me when you're 20, you care about what everyone thinks. When you're 40, you don't give a damn what people think. When you're 60, you realize nobody was thinking about you at all, right? And so I have a master's degree in history, so my thing is research. I love to research, and I like to, you know, form a hypothesis, you know, test my theory, or form a thesis, you know, hypothesis, test my theory, and come to a conclusion. So I just started trying different things. What Cat Williams say, trying shit don't work, right? And then what I realized is that once I start like kind of putting people off to the side and focusing on me, I start seeing more results. And then I realized that people, they're forgiving, they forget, and most people ain't thinking about you to even think that you are upset with them or mad. You just ducking off. And if a person can't respect the fact that you falling back to take care of your business, they don't need to be in your life.
Right.
So I began to weed certain people out of my life based on, you know, their actions. It's not based on my actions, it's based on their responses. So if I say, hey man, I can't help you with that because X, Y, Z. If you get mad at me, you weren't really with me anyway.
Right.
You were just there for whatever that thing was. And then that lets me know, okay, I don't need you in my life. And so for me, overcoming the obstacles, the biggest obstacle was just realizing that I need to just do what I need to do. And it was uncomfortable, but I was extremely successful at it. And I started to attract the people who were going down the same road as me. And what I realized is that within a 7-year period of time, my entire circle changed. That doesn't mean that I don't fool with those people back, you know, from the hood or my friends. Like, they can still call me, I'll answer the phone, we'll text. But we not sitting up on the phone for hours at a time, and I'm not going out to eat with you and breaking bread with you like that. Like, you know, if you want to see me, show up to one of our events. You know, so support the mentoring program. You can have access to me all day long if you come to the mentoring program. Right?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
like,
so glad you said that.
You create avenues for them to spend time with you, right? Like, hey, I'm having this event on Thursday. Come see me. Hey, I'm doing this. Hey, I'm doing this webinar. Everything is tied to your purpose. So if you want to have a conversation with me about business, I got a webinar on Thursday. Come show up and ask a question. They people want access to you. No. You don't get that. You can't call the owners of McDonald's. You can't call the owners of Starbucks. You can't call
the owner of Facebook.
You can't even call a principal at a school and get them on the phone all the time. So why?
Not even if he's your brother.
Not even if he doesn't. I did not set that up. I know that her brother's a principal. That was not a lob and a catch. Okay. The point is, once you become unaccessible, your value shoots up, and people will value more. But see, you probably always making yourself available to people. I stopped making myself available to people. I stopped answering the phone for a while. I stopped responding to texts. I didn't say happy birthday to people. You know, I just went out of my way to not make myself available. And what happens is that people will begin to realize that absence. If you were truly an asset, that void will be felt. And then those people go out of their way to make sure that you're good. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was once I learned that, I was good.
I'm going with it. I'm going with it.
And you know what? And people know what I'm doing, and they still get it. Now people call me, Tim, I know you're busy, but can you give me 2 minutes? Of course I can give you 2 minutes because you respect my space now. You understand? But when people call me under duress, I don't even answer the phone. I'll call them back 2 weeks later.
No, he's telling you the truth because she's very available, and I'm like, girl, boo.
No. My phone, literally, as we speak, is on do not. It goes on do not disturb at 1 o'clock, and from 1 o'clock to 9 o'clock, my phone won't even ring.
And well, this one has a calendar and still don't abide by it.
I saw her calendar. It's like completely full. I'm like, there's no way she can follow that calendar. It's impossible.
But I've been doing good. But no, I really do. I hit that calendar like, you know, I'm on these one-on-one calls. You know, I've got all these mentees, you know, who are
How much you charge?
Well, the company pays me.
Okay, there you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
So the company pays me per deal, for them.
Gotcha,
And then,
gotcha.
of course, I do have the coaching program. So people come in, they pay they start off at $10.50. So it was like $10.50 a month. And now we went up.
$10.50?
No, $1,050
There you go. There you go.
And then now we shot up our prices are $2,000 a month.
Raising to 5,000.
Okay.
So
Say less.
I used to do 3,500.
I received
Then
that
I started
profit.
doing 5,000. Now you can't even sit down with me if it's not $10,000. There's nothing for us to talk about.
Yeah.
You wanna know why? Because people pay for value, and when you pay me $10,000, you're gonna get $50,000 worth of work. I'm gonna add an extra zero or an extra comma to your net worth.
And that's the thing, because people pay for what they want, but that's
Absolutely.
a whole nother topic. For
No
a
discounts
whole
for
other day.
anybody. Don't discount.
Yeah.
I got a program. No, you can't have a discount. I have my low ticket items. I have my middle ticket items. I have my high ticket items. You want to talk to me for 30 minutes? That's $300.
Yeah.
All right. We don't have time for that because you'll go out there and spend that money on a watch or some shoes.
Come on now.
You go out there and spend that money on some
On
food,
some eyelashes and some hair.
eyelashes, some hair.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
do you see the price of bundles?
You see the price of gas.
First
No,
off, first off, let me start here and say, a lot of my sisters know, I don't wear a whole lot of tracked in hair or extensions and stuff like that. Not because I have anything against them. I'm just one of those people that Tanisha will tell you I would get my hair done. And
She
then,
can give the money to me.
okay, I caught myself trying to get a little lace wig or whatever, the attachments, and went to New Orleans, okay,
Lord.
and kept it on for about 3 days. And all my sisters was like, "What's wrong with you? You supposed to you spent how much money on that? You took it off in 3 days." I'm talking about they did a little sew in front of
Oh, that's
all
a
that stuff.
process.
Oh, it
It's
was
a whole
expensive.
process.
And so I'm a person where I can't keep things on a long time. I get my hair done, then I take down the next day or so. And so she always, it irks her. She keep her hairstyle for a
make it-
long time.
'Cause I'm gonna keep my hair.
But when I looked at what they were charging though, the lady that did my hair did the sew-in and she did the whole little lace, whatever, however they do it, HD, this, that, and the third. I paid almost $700 for my hair.
Yes, you did.
And that was cheap.
And that was cheap. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at a lot of different women who, just not to put anybody on blast, trust me, but there's a lot of people who, quote unquote, go through these struggles, but they got the eyelashes, they got the bundles, they got the nails, they have all of these different things, but then when you start talking about paying for education or, paying for something
Education
that's
access.
going
Or
to help
investing
them
in
in access or
yourself,
investing in
period.
stuff, there are so many people that's like, oh no, I ain't gonna pay that.
I pay for education. I spend about $10,000 to $15,000 a year on education.
Yeah,
access.
that's me too.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is what it is, and it's and that money always grows. I always add a zero to whatever
Yeah.
I spend. But people, if you can't understand that right now, then I can't help you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't come to me looking for a discount. You bragging about spending that money on a Louis bag, so
Right.
brag about spending that money with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you getting what you need to get, to move forward. And so investing in yourself is key, but we'll go to our next question.
Yeah.
Shaping up nicely.
Shaping up nicely. Speaking of shaping up nicely, how did your journey shape you?
It made me realize how long I was lying to myself about certain situations, and about certain people. Once I went through the journey of finding my purpose, executing my purpose, all the fears that I had about business, about life, about marriage, about everything turned out to be a lie. Because you learn through your failures and your experience. And once you get out there, a lot of people are too afraid to do things because they don't know how people receive them. And what I realized is that I went into it thinking that nobody would support me. What I realized is that I had more support than I could have ever imagined. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's it. I learned that most of the stuff that I believed was a lie. And once I started doing it, the sky was the limit. It was so out of my comfort zone to charge people to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So then it was okay, I charge you $100. Okay, then I saw people pay the $100. And I charge you $500. Okay, then people start paying the $500. Okay, I'm gonna charge you $1,000. It was at every stop, no one stopped paying.
Yeah.
And then my thing was, the people that have me, they're not gonna be a good client anyway. So now the people that start paying me $3,000 and $5,000, they want more.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that was a lie. I thought that people wouldn't pay me, but I realized that people definitely want to pay me.
Yeah.
You
The
know?
people who want to better themselves will pay you. Those who are just pussyfooting around, those are the ones who gonna question
They
you
don't-
about
They're not
your
my target
prices,
audience. When people start
and they are
questioning
not.
me, I say I'm not for you. I mean, I'm not for you. I'm retired at 37 for a reason. I'm not for you.
I'm gonna just be transparent because this is really. I think I'm getting my healing for my phone. On here. You know, we do this for everybody, but it's because we too personally go through things, and our guests help us to overcome things too. And when we're done with the show, we go and we talk about the things that we've been able to hear. And so my struggle has been cutting off access, realizing that I'm a very valuable asset to a whole lot of people, and that they get this one-on-one time with me, and then they go away, they get what they need, and then when they need more, it's like I never did anything.
Who's filling your cup?
Exactly. And so, you know, I would go through these moments of hurt with people where, you know, there was a particular place I was at, you know, company I helped out or whatever the case may be, and I had to realize, because it's back to what you're saying, where you was lying to yourself. You know, I had to realize that I was lying to myself, because I was telling myself that, you know, this is family, you know, and they love me, and I'm gonna exhaust this. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
let me interrupt you real quick. I'm gonna make it real simple for you. Stop helping people. Stop helping people. No, you're not. You bring value to people through your services. I don't help anybody, and you can feel some kind of way. When I stopped helping people, my business changed.
Yeah.
Because people don't value help.
yeah,
They see help as helplessness, and they see that as being weak.
yeah,
A person that needs help is a weak person.
yeah.
So the average person doesn't want to feel weak, so they're not going to value your help. I quit helping folks. I start providing them with a service. Okay?
Providing value.
What's my favorite saying? This is where the conversation turns into a consultation.
You talking to fish instead of giving them the fish.
We charge for consultations. All right? I can't call TXU and say, hey, I helped somebody. Can you help me? They're gonna say, we're gonna give you an extra 5 days before we cut them lights off, man. And then you're gonna need to help yourself to some lamps, to some candles. Okay?
Yeah.
Stop helping folks.
Yeah, and that advice goes both business-wise and family-wise. And I'm saying that because, again, I'm going to go back to what we just talked about earlier. What you're saying to her, you're saying it to me about my children. At a certain point, it's helping. And I love what you're saying, because we got to stop helping and stop enabling. Because helping, the way you're saying helping, is enabling.
Who helped you? Who helped you? Who helped you? When you moved up to Dallas, who jumped out the porch and just really helped you? How many of your friends were just running to the door to make sure that you had a smooth transition to Dallas? To make sure you were good. Who calls you on a regular basis outside of Tanisha maybe to check on you and see if you're good now? Nobody.
I have two sisters that really do, and then outside of that, when I moved to Dallas,
you're on your own.
Yeah, I was here.
Okay,
yeah, it was me and my kid.
Nobody. I was fighting. I'm gonna have to write another book about this if I want to. Nobody.
Go ahead.
And it's not personal, you guys. You can run your life like a business. I don't know if it's the way we were brought up, maybe through our religion, through relationship with God. I always tell people, whenever we, when I go to church, people invite me to church. I always say, is your Jesus the Jesus that was kicking over the tables and telling his mama to stay out of his business?
Exactly. Yeah. Or your Jesus.
Like, which one y'all talking about? Because if your Jesus ain't kicking over the tables and telling his mama to stay out of his business, I don't want to go to your church, right? Like we
because he had boundaries. Like, come on, now, you got into that, and they don't highlight that.
People don't highlight that. Like,
I tell people, like, even my father. I'm gonna mention my daddy on here because my dad's a person where he didn't have stuff in the world. So when he got out of prison, and he was already in ministry before he went into prison, so it was different. A lot of people thought he had like a jailhouse religion. He didn't. He made sure that, he knew he was going to go down. He stood accountable. He took his time because he was like one of the top 10 kingpins, whatever. And he went down for his time, was supposed to have life and all this stuff, but God, redeemed him, brought him out. It's been, almost 20-something years.
25 years. That's the number.
Exactly. And he has just been hammering hard, pastoring, running his church, leading all of these souls, to deliverance. And one thing about him is, what I love is, like, he didn't have stuff in the world, so he don't have stuff in God. If it's on his mind, he gonna tell you what exactly it is. And I think a lot of times with us, and I told my bonus mom, I was like, you gotta take a page out of Dad's book, because a lot of times what we will do is we'll think like, oh, because I'm in God now, I can't say that, or I can't tell you no, or I can't this, and that's not true. That's the furthest thing from the truth. You have to be able to say, even when the disciples was trying to bring, somebody else along, and he was like, I didn't call him, I called you.
There's a lot of people, I always tell people, have you actually read your
Your Bible.
You know,
Come on.
I'm pretty. People look at me and they think I'm a fool. You know, I don't read the Bible a bunch of times. I used to teach Bible study back in the day.
Yeah.
And there's certain things about the Bible that I can rock with. You know, they were pretty ratchet in the Bible. Like they didn't really fool around.
No.
Right?
Yeah,
But for some reason, we as black people, we only take the meek, you know, turn the other cheek side of it. No, they used to get down
No,
in that
they got
Bible.
down.
They got
ignore
down.
part
in that
A.
Bible, right? We,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So my thing is, we gotta get out of that passive mentality of not being able to tell people how we feel and not being able to, you know, get past certain situations. Like, you only have time is not guaranteed to us,
No, it's
and I
not.
don't want anybody to watch this and then 20 years later be like, man, I wish I would have took that advice 20 years ago. Like, do it now and stop being so afraid. Jump off the porch. The worst thing that happens is that you're gonna fail. When you fail, you'll realize exactly what not to do, and then you'll do the right thing. People don't understand that. Like, when I fail, I know exactly what not to do. So I do the exact opposite of that, and now I'm successful. It's that simple. There's no magic wand.
Right.
Right. Well, we want to ask you.
What you got for me now?
After all of this and everything that you've done, you know, being able to help these men and young boys and retire and real estate and commissioner and all of this stuff, how do you, like, what's your outlet from all of that? How do you plan for self-care and different
You know, I travel a lot. I travel. I'm always somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, at a hotel, at a Ritz-Carlton, and with a city view. You know, in somebody's city. If you follow me, I'm always on the 24th floor, looking over somebody's city, eating. Right? That's the way I reward myself. When I check out, when I go on them trips, don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? Or I get on the road. Sometimes we hop on the road and just drive down to San Antonio. Like, that's my getaway, you know, just traveling. But I put myself in a position where I can do that because I work my purpose. But you have to take time off. I keep my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I don't get on my phone. You know, for certain periods of the times of the day, because you need that break. Everything I do is scheduled. Everything I do is on purpose, right? I don't do anything, you know, off the whim. You know what I'm saying? It may look like it to y'all, but everything I've done has been planned out. You see what I'm saying? So once you get a schedule and you plan out everything, then you can move around that. But I travel. I'm always on. I'm so glad they're starting to lift these restrictions. We can go places.
I know.
I'm trying to get back overseas. That's what I do.
Okay. And we cutting it close, but I'm gonna ask you this. We're gonna ask you two more quick questions. What is your 5-year vision?
My 5-year vision is to be retired again. So I retired at 37. I'm 38 now. I'm building an online business now. So my goal is to have that business up and running by the end of this year. Put people in place by the end of next year, and then to be retired again, traveling and doing what I like to do full time again. So by the time I am 43 years old, I plan on being retired again. I plan on having the first retirement money to cover X, and then the second retirement money to cover Y. And I'm gonna go away, buy some land, and be fishing and you know, working in the car. That's my goal. That's what I want. So
as long as you cover X, I'm right here. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? That's my goal. But you know, like, and then to just enjoy my children. You know, my son by that time he'll be in high school doing his thing. You know, the new child will be starting school. Like, I want to be able to spend more time with my kids. You know what I'm saying? And my mother's getting up there in age. My wife's mother's getting up there in age. You know, I want to be able to enjoy those golden years with them. You know what I'm saying?
So we want you to look right there at that light in that camera, and we want you to talk to your younger self. What would you tell your younger self if he was standing in front of you right now?
Fuck everybody's opinion and just do that shit. Like, that's it. I was a person that cared about image. You know, I didn't want to offend people. I didn't want to step on nobody's toes. I wanted to hold people's hand. I wanted to save everybody. No. When you fly on a plane, they say in the event of loss of cabin pressure, secure your mask before assisting others, right? You need to take care of yourself, Tim, 5-10 years ago, before you start trying to bring people along. Because if you bring people into a broken situation, everyone's gonna fail. And I literally went through that process. Like, you know, Tanisha was with me when I blew up my real estate company. I was good on real estate. I got to the point to where I hated real estate because it wasn't purpose driven. I was trying to save everybody and put everybody into a house and teach everybody about credit and do this. And it just became I didn't love it anymore. Right? So fall in love with the process and leave people behind, because You do not want to look up 5, 10, 20 years later when those people living their life, doing their thing. They ain't even thinking about you.
Yeah.
You done spent the best years of your life trying to help other people.
Yeah.
And there's like something inside of us. Because like I said, I was raised in church and I was taught, you know, hey, you know, you want to help people. I watched my mother help everybody.
Yeah.
And I used to, as a kid, I used to be like, I don't want to be like that, you know, because I saw people take advantage of her so much.
Yeah.
But then, guess what? I became that person. And even though I thought I was doing it my way, I was the exact same person that she was. And then when I realized that, I started doing stuff opposite. And I realized that I was able to touch more people when I started focusing on my purpose, because my purpose served the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It didn't serve those 1 or 2 people that I had pity on. It served everybody. And the people that needed it got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That was a lot.
That was a heavy dose.
I hope y'all feel it.
No, you left us with a lot of nuggets, a lot of jewels. Real dope. This is how we met. This is how real dope.
An in-depth comparison between real estate and the dope game. It talks about exactly what it sounds like. I wrote this book to keep my friends and family out of prison because, you know, the family and the friend business was drugs. You know, that's all I saw coming up. You know, with my friends and family members, at one point in the game, I was going to visit a prison every weekend for about 2 years to visit family members. And when I came back from the military and I started my business, people would always say, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? So I literally sat down and wrote a book for them. And the book has become what it's become. But essentially, you know, take a look at this book. I don't make a penny off of it. You can get it on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, it's to you the next day. 100% of the proceeds go to Real Youth Mentoring. I don't make a dime off of it, but check me out. You can find me on social media at Timjacksonnow, but also www.timjacksonnow.com. I have the 21-day purpose challenge where I teach you how to find your purpose and how to work your purpose and navigate your purpose so that you can essentially achieve everything that you want to achieve. So take a look at that 21-day purpose challenge. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You will enjoy it. You will love it. And get at me. Let me know how it's going.
all right. Well, you guys heard how to find me. We're so excited that you joined us. And so we just want y'all to have just a really blessed life and understand that God's got so much for you if you learn how to leave people who are dragging you down behind. Okay?
On behalf of me and Coach B, we want to thank you for coming on the
Thank y'all for
show.
having me.
As always, this has been Healing for Your Soul. Bye.
Bye. See y'all next time.